Hi, my name's Lee. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a new scale railroad I'm going to be building. I'm in the planning stages at this point. So any advice I'd greatly appreciate it. What I plan on modeling is the main part is a former amusement park, ghost town slash old west town called Dry Gulch. Then bought and sold and renamed Virginia City in Wytheville, Virginia. I think it was last operated in the early 80s. I went there as a child. We went there almost every year with my father, and I have great memories of that place. Highlights of it is they had a Shea locomotive that did a train ride, the bank robbers and all that good stuff that you would expect from a train ride back in the day. He also had two other locomotives, a Baldwin, and I can't remember the other ones, but I'll show pictures of that back in the day. Hopefully I can get this to work. I'm kind of new to this editing stuff. I usually just film and post. So I'm going to try to edit some photos on here of what it looks like, what it did look like. Unfortunately, the new owners of it just recently, in the last month or two, tore down what was left of the buildings for safety reasons. The former owners tried to keep it going, but since they put in the Highway 77, the traffic through that area diminished, and there's just not as many people interested in ghost towns as there was back in the 70s and 80s. Also in that area is the Big Walker Lookout, and I will be modeling that as well. They have a tower there that suppose you can see, several states. You're on top of a mountain. Great little place to stop and check out. It is still open and operating. Back before my time, there was a chairlift there as well. I would like to model that, but those are very expensive to find in HO scale. So that is my main part of my layout. I will probably do that in regular DC, and at this point I'm not even sure if that section will be functional. I have bought the locomotive. I bought a Shea, and unfortunately when I purchased it, it was broken. So I don't know, maybe you guys might know someone that do some repairs cheap for HO scale. Basically, one of the set of the trucks is broken off from the body, and if you know a Shea, that it is not driven like a normal engine. It has the axles on the side. So I do believe I have all the pieces for the axles, but the one track is broken, and I'm not sure if I can fix that or not. So if I can't, that'll be just a static model of that area, but I'm hoping to make it a back and forth section of the track. Probably about a 4-foot section will be this Dry Gulch area. Another area that I want to model is Chippewa Lake Amusement Park. It's up in northern Ohio. Well, it was up in northern Ohio. Once again, just another memory I had as a child. My dad's shop picnics were there almost yearly, and I want to loosely model that area. I do have some of the amusement rides already. They are not put together. I purchased them from a friend of mine. You might know him, Try Goglin. He's also building a railroad, N scale, You might want to check out his YouTube page. Uh, so I have a few things already. I would like to buy one of the wooden roller coaster kits to put in there as well. So I'm gonna have a section with an amusement park that's just basically roughly depicting Chippewa Lake. Another area I want to model loosely is my hometown, which is Holmesville, Ohio. They had a single line running through that town up until the late mid 70s. So I loosely remember the trains coming through every now and then. So basically, I'm just gonna model the houses I lived in that area, the feed mill, then a few of the businesses probably in that town. So, and I have a few more areas that will be open. You know, I have ideas. You know, basically just wooded areas, and possible I may do the horseshoe curve. At this point right now, the other areas that I've talked about, I probably do in DCC. I have no clue on how to wire or hook up any of that. The last model train I had, I was probably 10 years old, and it was just, plug and play, around the Christmas tree type stuff. So any advice, my room is 11 foot by, I believe it's 17. I'll show a diagram of it here in a minute. And it's going to be one continuous loop at this point. I would like to have a couple spurs and stuff, but I don't know how complicated that would get in wiring and stuff, and I just don't want to mess anything up at this point. So with that being said, where I'm building it is upstairs. The room is not complete, so I advise you at this point, don't give me too much grief. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I find it hard to stay on task, and I want to jump ahead and start other things before I finish things I got in the works already. So this room still needs a couple sheets of drywall. I'm also building a closet in this room that hasn't been built yet, so there's a few things that need to be done before I start building. So I'll kind of show you the room and show you a picture of the diagram that I'm wanting to build. I do have some questions. The one section of the track will only be 3 feet wide, or just shy of 3 feet wide, maybe an inch short. Just kind of curious if I can make a loop in that area to turn it back on itself. Is that too tight of a curve, or should I be good there, or will it? I see that there's tighter curves in that, but does it look correct? Look out of place. So kind of interested in your feedback on that kind of stuff. So let's go up and take a real quick peek of the room, and we'll go from there. All right, so this is the room. Like I say, it's nowhere near to being finished, but this is what I got to work with. So basically what I'm going to do is where you're standing at, or where you're watching me from, it's going to come around and go all the way around the room here. This section here in this far corner, I will have a closet. So this wall here will have a 4-foot by 8-foot base for me to lay the track. Along this wall, I'm looking at 2 to 3 foot wide, the length of the room. Then on your side of the camera, I can't go no farther than 3 foot because of the doorway. So that's my part that I'm a little bit concerned about, making the radius to come back and make that loop. Is it going to be too tight or not? So this wall here, this is the long wall. And my thought here was, on the right side of the window, that is where I'm going to put the ghost town. It is going to be raised higher than the base of the railroad, up on a mountain, and have the main line going underneath it through a tunnel. And my thought is it'd come out of a tunnel, and where the window is, I'll put a bridge across there to span that area. My thought is about 3 feet off the ground. I don't know, maybe get your thoughts. Sorry, the lighting's terrible here. Get your thoughts on height. What do you prefer? My concern is like the 4-foot section on this wall over here, reaching over to get the stuff in the far rear of the layout. If I have a derailment, or just landscaping and all that kind of stuff. So I want to have enough room where I can reach over and do that without much trouble. So I would love to get some input on height, and once again the 2-foot or a 3-foot section over here in this corner. This is the other section of track. This is where the doorway is, and I have 3 foot of space, just shy, about 1 inch shy of 3 foot here. So this is my main concern. I'm going to be able to make that return loop and make it look, nice or whatnot. So basically this section here is where the town of Holmesville is going to be. If I turn around the camera, this section here in the corner here is where I plan on doing Chippewa Lake. Then the mountain here, right before the window, is where I'll do Dry Gulch / Virginia City. Then my closet will be here in this corner. And I was thinking on this return loop here, kind of loosely base that off the horseshoe curve. So, I don't know, I would like to get a little bit of rise out of this corner, but then I'm going to have to bring it right back down when I come to this corner. That's a possibility. I do have a set of risers or inclines purchased. It might be a little bit too steep. My plan was to use them for Dry Gulch, because it does the Shea and Dry Gulch were a switchback type railroad. I don't think they ever finished the switchback section of the track. It was basically just an out and back from what I remember. But, like I said, the last time I was there, I was probably 10 years old. So it could have had the switchback on it. But it's going to be a kind of a steep grade. Everything else, I would just have a, like I say, on the horseshoe curve, maybe a slight grade just to mimic the horseshoe curve. Everything else is going to be flat as of now, and basically just have structures and greenery, trees, whatnot. I hope to make most of my trees and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's what I got. So any input would be greatly appreciated. So if you want to follow along, my journey of building this thing, like and subscribe. Also, if you're interested in rail fanning, I do a lot of that. I get out, I have a rail line that runs just right here near to the house. I catch it every once in a while. I do go around quite a bit in Ohio and check out the different high traffic areas on the rail lines. I also just purchased a square drop trailer, and I'm hoping to do some overnights, going checking out different areas and doing some camping near rail lines and filming there. And I also will be doing some YouTube videos on the square drop as well, because I will be doing some customization to that. Of course, I want to theme it, and I'm looking at theming it, to the railroad, whatnot. Not too bad, but maybe put up a little railroad sign or some decals, pictures inside. Use railroad spikes for handles and stuff. So if you're interested in that, follow along. I'll be doing those shortly. Like I say, it's being built as we speak. I'm hoping to get that in early March, and we can start that process of customizing it to my liking, and get out across this country and see some new rail lines. So I'm hoping to head down North Carolina, and hopefully in Florida, then out west. So several places I have in mind that I want to go check out. That's a little bit more than a day trip, and that square drop trailer will work out greatly. So I can just park near a rail line and do some filming. So if you like that kind of stuff, like and subscribe, and hopefully get more content for you. You like the rail fanning, like building model rail lines, hook me up, follow, hit that subscribe button. All right, thank you guys. See you soon.